reached out and asked if you had read the indictment. You said you read it word for word, page for page, right?
I did. I keep up. I love Jackson.
Even though they've not been in court and they've not been found guilty, it's just an indictment at this point.
They don't see it. My first statement was, think of your family. Think about your family. Put your family first.
I never thought in a million years we would have been put in the situation that we were in. Never. Because we went through our whole career doing the right thing.
It's utterly ridiculous to me. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Othor Cain Show. I'm Othor Cain. Glad to have you aboard on this Tuesday. We are back from vacation and we are live tonight. I certainly do appreciate all of your support, and especially on last week when we had to run a couple of reruns so that we can enjoy some much needed time away. Well, we are in the home stretch of the elections. We've got 1 week to go to the runoff elections. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Ward 6 candidate Emon Thompson, who is seeking the office of City Council Ward 6. He is in a runoff. We'll talk to him very shortly. Also coming up tonight, we'll talk a little bit about the mayoral runoff that's happening, a very heated race between Senator John Horn and incumbent Mayor Shokwe Antar Lumumba. We'll delve into that. Also, lots of rumors swirling around Jackson State University tonight. We'll try to unpack that as much as we can. Right now, it's not a whole lot to talk about, just rumors, but we've worked really hard trying to confirm some of that. So we'll dip into that conversation in just a little bit. As always, though, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for supporting this live stream. Thank you for supporting our work as an independent journalist, independent Black media. We are forever grateful for your support. Don't stop your support. And if you've not had an opportunity to donate or to share with us, you can do so. The Cash App link is there on the screen, $ Othor Cain. Your support helps us tell stories that you likely won't see fully on any mainstream news broadcast or news outlet. We have an opportunity to go beyond the headlines and get into the heart of the conversation, get into the heart of what matters most to you. And your support helps us a great deal in doing that. All right. So thank you. Thank you to those who've already given. We couldn't do it without you, and we're ever so grateful for your support. And so thank you to our newcomers as well. We started a new feature doing a wine review, but because I just returned from a wine festival, right? Because I just returned from the Sandestin Wine Festival, we thought that we would take a much needed break from drinking a little wine. But I will tell you that I did bring this bottle back. And so this will be the bottle that I will review. I'm giving myself a week off, right? But this will be the bottle that I review on next Tuesday. It's a Cabernet, and it's very good. It's a couple of Cabernet, but I brought that back from the Sandestin Wine Festival. Had an opportunity to do this wine pairing, this wine dinner. And Hall Wine was the vineyard that did the pairing, and some amazing wines. And I'm not a big Chardonnay guy, but there was an amazing Chardonnay that we brought back from the Sandestin Wine Festival as well. And so in the coming weeks, we'll share that one with you as well. So that's that segment. So we'll forego it today, give myself a little break from the wine, right? But let's move. Oh, good. Bishop liked Capella too. Yeah, man, it's really, really, really good. I can't wait to share the notes and all of that coming up. But we've got lots to talk about tonight, so we're going to jump right into it. We're excited to welcome our first guest tonight and our only guest. The rest will be done mostly via commentary. But our guest tonight is Emon Thompson. He is running for City Council in Ward 6. Most of you know that Councilman Aaron Banks opted not to seek re-election. So that left this seat wide open. Also, Councilwoman Virgie Lindsay opted not to seek re-election in Ward 7. That left Ward 7 wide open. So we for sure will have 2 new council members come July. And we're excited about the opportunity to see who they are. And Emon Thompson wants to be your next city council person in Ward 6. Emon, brother, good to see you. Glad to have you here.
Good to see you, Othor, and I appreciate you having me on your show.
Absolutely. So first, let's start with just a little background on who you are before we delve into what made you decide to jump into this race. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Again, my name is Emon Thompson, and I was born and raised in McGee, Mississippi. That's about 30 miles south of here, going towards Hattiesburg. I've been living in Jackson for over 34 years. Went to Jackson State. Didn't get quite a chance to complete Jackson State because I was activated for Desert Storm. But I've been living here in South Jackson for 17 years. Go to church at Great Bethlehem Temple Church for the past 34 years. Work a lot in church, but definitely I work a lot in the community. I've served on the board of ASJAN for 10 years, and I served 4 of those years as a board member. I've served on the board of JAN, Jackson Association of Neighborhoods. I currently serve as the HOA president of Brooklyn Homeowner Association in South Jackson for the past 8 years. I've worked with Ptolemy White, served on the board for the Jackson Resource Center. And there's a lot of other hosts of things I do. I enjoy working in the community. Othor, that's my calling. It's not something I chose to do. It's something that I was called to do. So that's where I get my joy, and that's where I get my motivation. It's when I'm helping others.
Good deal. In fact, I think we met many years ago through your work in community as well at Wingfield High School.
Yes.
And so we did a lot of work around JPS. So you're no stranger to community work.
Yes, sir.
So again, good to have you here. Now, Emon was the top vote getter on April 1st. However, he did not cross the threshold of getting 50% plus 1. Thus, he is in a runoff 1 week from today. Tell us a little bit about why you want to go from all of your work in the community to becoming an elected official. Why now and why this?
Well, Othor, this is something that I've always wanted to do, serve the community. And I've served the community primarily as you mentioned, PTSA president for Wingfield, also a HOA president for Brooklyn. And I was just looking for an opportunity to get a little bit more teeth in the fight. Of course, you know that I ran with Miss Evers for supervisor for District 4. Of course, she won the primary, and I did everything I could to support her to make sure she get in her seat. And so I just wanted to be able to have a bigger influence on the community, a bigger influence on city government. I wanted to be that voice for the people to make sure that they wasn't forgotten, especially South Jackson. So there's a lot more I can do in this seat, and I'm looking forward to writing policies. As a matter of fact, I got 3 policies already ready. Once I get in the seat, hopefully we'll be able to introduce those in the first 30 days. I'm just looking forward to be the ears and the eyes for the citizens, and to be there to try to rebuild some of the things we've lost, the love, the concern. I'm very concerned about them. And again, I just mentioned that I get a lot of joy when I serve others.
Very good. Yeah, I know firsthand of your community work. I know firsthand of your being the Homeowners Association president. You know, I had an opportunity to moderate a forum with the Ward 6 candidates. And so I kind of want to take a page from that conversation. There are a lot of issues in South Jackson, right? South Jackson is no stranger to abandoned property, no stranger to water issues, no stranger to crime, as is other parts of the city as well. But South Jackson in particular, tell me a little bit about your vision for the work in South Jackson should you be successful next Tuesday.
Well, Othor, my first 100 days, I want to do everything I can to clean up a little bit. I want to start on the major fairways. When you start at Highway Terry Road, when you cross over Terry Road on McDowell, I mean, it's like 30 properties between there and Belvedere. And so I've actually had an opportunity to meet some of the pastors. And so one of my goals is to clean the major thoroughfares down Terry Road. I mean, just driving down Terry Road will give you, I mean, it's just sad. And so I want to work hard to get those cleaned up. But I also plan to start with the worst areas. I have an opportunity to travel to ride on every street in Ward 6, and some of these these areas don't have potholes; they have trenches and rivers. I mean, you kind of have to go around the side. You have to hit it sideways to get through. And so I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of the constituents in those areas, and they were kind of excited that they said this is the first time we've ever had a representative come down here to see us. So I want to let them know that they're not forgotten. We want to get into office. I want to introduce some policies that I have put together to fight the blight and also the illegal dumping, and deal with some issues that are pet peeves of mine, like people blowing the red lights. I'm not talking about not stopping at the red light. I'm talking about you sitting still and they just blow the red light like they don't even know something coming. So I've actually been talking to Chief Wade about some ideas, and I'm hoping to get some of these things going pretty fast once I get in the seat.
I was in an Uber a week or so ago, and I was actually in South Jackson. Can't remember where I was, but this happens all over the city.
Yeah.
Folk running red lights, and my Uber ran the red light. I was like, "What? Oh God's grace are you doing?" But the Uber ran the red light, man. I mean, what kind of policy stops that?
Well, Othor, one of my ideas is that, a lot of people, because I drove Uber and Lyft, and I still love to do it, but I'm having to push back from it now because I usually do it in my Infinity, and they don't start trying to take those nice cars. I had the opportunity to have a dash cam. And so I've used my dash cam to catch people throwing stuff out of the car. So I got the tag number, I got the trash that they throw out. And so one of my ideas is to turn these people in. If they fly past the light, of course I got their tag number, I got the description of the car. And so one of my suggestions to Chief Wade is that when a person is caught just simply blowing a light, I mean, you didn't even slow down, that once they're caught, that they get their car impounded for at least 7 days. Now, we don't want people to lose their jobs, but at least that's a start to get their cars impounded for 7 days. Not only do they have to pay the fine, but they also have to pay the towing fee to get the car back. And so if they get caught the second time, then we're talking about 2 weeks and a higher fine, and also they have to pay to get their cars back. So to me, that's a start. I believe that when these people are pulled over those crimes and they know that that's a policy or a new ordinance, then they hopefully will slow down. So we got to start from somewhere.
All right, good deal. So I've not had an opportunity to meet your opponent. I don't know her. She did well to be a virtual unknown, but I would ask you, without my knowing her, what separates the two of you?
Well, the first thing is I've been around for a long time. I mean, it's no secret that I love Ward 6, that I've worked in Ward 6. Not just to win this race, but that's just something I've been doing ever since I've been out here. I don't know much about her. I did see her at the Ashjan parade. She was very nice. I spoke to her, and we agreed that whoever wins, which I kind of know who that is, that we would work together. So I really don't know much
You gotta
about
know who
her.
that is. You're
Oh,
claiming
I know who that is. Now, I don't know how she did what she did. There's a lot of speculations how that happened. I know that a lot of people call me Emon Thomas. Of course, if they don't really know who I am, they may not know that my Emon is a male name. They may thought I was a female. Some say that they just voted for females. And there's a lot of speculations, but I have done very well with making sure people know who I am. I did get the opportunity to go to the areas that she did very well. and we've kind of, saturated it with our me going door to door. And so I'm just looking forward to serving the people. I've had an opportunity to get a sample ballot, so I'm doing a lot of sponsored ads on Facebook. So I will be eventually sending these sample ballots out with my picture or my sign on there with my name circled, so they'll know who I am, and there shouldn't be any confusion this time.
Yeah, I was telling another candidate who was in this same race, he was speculating on who she was and what she did, and she came out of nowhere. And I was like, you're wasting your time trying to figure out who she is. She did something right to get all of those votes. Your time would be better spent not trying to figure out who she is, right? But trying to figure out what she did, right? How did she amass those votes, and go talk to her, right? Get to know her. Apparently she did something right to get to where she is, even being a virtual unknown. But I want to get to something else before you get out of here, Emon, and that is as a council member, right? Should you be successful next week as a council member, how do you work with your other colleagues, for that branch of government versus working with the mayor for that branch of government? So executive versus legislative body, how do you differentiate between the two?
I think the best thing is to have a relationship with them. The new ones, I know Kevin Parkinson, who I'm supporting, him and I have spent a lot of time together. Everything south of Highway 80 that we've had, whether it's cleanup, whether it's a farm, he has been here. We definitely don't want another candidate that's representing Ward 7 in South Jackson that doesn't show up, like, not as well as our previous sitting councilman is. So I'm supporting him. But the biggest thing I think is relationship. I have pretty decent relationship with Griselle, Mr. Councilman Griselle. I call him my backup councilman. And the reason why I say that is because if I have questions, I can't get my councilman, I always call him. And if he don't answer the phone, he kind of call back pretty quick. So I call him my backup councilman. And every now and then I told him that he's my councilman. But to have a relationship with them, if there are some things that I want to bring to the table, I think it's great to vet it first. I learned this by working with Brooklyn, with my board. I had some board members that just, I don't care what it is I decide to do, they just wouldn't support it. And so what I did is we have get my 4 votes the same as we do with the council. I would go to the 4 people that I know that supports me, and if they are okay with it and want to support it, we would go forward. And at that time, once I know I got my 4 people on board, then I would share the information with the 2 that really don't support me that much. So I'm planning on doing the same thing. I'm not just going to bring something out that they don't know about. I'm going to take time with them and explain to them what I like to do and see if they're on board with it. And if they're not, for whatever reason, I want to hear whatever issues they're having with it and try to go back and come back to the table. But I want to make sure that I have enough votes before I even bring something to the table.
Got it. Final question for you tonight. What's the role of a council person?
Well, a council person, we take care of the bills, the budget. We make sure everybody get paid. We also we advocate for the people in the city of Jackson. We also make sure we write the policies or the ordinances to deal with issues that we have in the city. And we try to, work with the mayor and his administration, make sure they're doing their job, but primarily handling the budget, making sure, to me, handling the budget, making sure things that are appropriated for certain things are appropriated effectively, and just be there to be the eyes and the ears for the citizens when it comes to city government.
All right, very good. And we'll give you some final thoughts to make a plea to our audience.
Yes, again, my name is Emon Thompson, and I'm looking forward to serving you as your next Ward 6 councilman. I put in a lot of time. This is nothing new for me. I've had great training working for my HOA. I always tell people that if you want to know what South Jackson is going to look like, come to Brook Lee, and you'll get a great opportunity to see some of the things that we've done, some of the things that we're doing to make sure that we take care of each other. And so I'm just looking forward to serving you, to making you proud. I got great goals for my first 100 days, and I'm just looking forward to take the helm and do great things and do what I need to do to make sure your voices are heard and make sure that we make Ward 6 great again.
Oh man, you lost me with that. Make it great again. Oh, I can't stand a MAGA reference, but I get it. Oh my God.
Well, it's making Ward 6
Oh my
great again.
God, you lost me there, brother. But I get it.
Yeah.
Emon Thompson, man, thank you for being here. All the
Yes,
best
sir.
next week. I know that you've worked hard. I know you've put
Yes, sir.
in a lot of work.
Mhm.
And so all the best to you next week.
Thank you so much, Othor, for having me on your show.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you
Mhm.
very much. That's
Mhm.
Emon Thompson. He is seeking the office of City Council for Ward 6. He is in a runoff, and the runoff is 1 week from today. Perhaps this time next week, we will be talking about the results of the outcome. We're going to transition out, talk a little bit about the mayoral's race. I'm going to ask Dr. J if you would pull the commercial for Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, because he is a sponsor of this segment tonight. So we want to make sure that we get his commercial in. We'd love to get it up prior to moving into our discussion about the runoff race with the mayor, because I got some things to say and I want you guys to hear it, and I want you to hear it. I want you to listen well. We're a week out, and it's really time out for all of the foolishness. It's time out. Everybody can have an opinion, and that's fine. That's fine. But it's just time out.
We know he's gotten things done for Jackson.
Mayor Lumumba has a national profile, which it gives him the ability to do what he did when Jackson was facing the major water crisis.
Got something done. He got close to $1 billion from the federal government to do something that hasn't been done in decades.
He is literally in the best position to help lives, change lives, transform his community for the better, and improve the quality of life.
Mayor Lumumba has been a very consistent person, somebody who is very clearly loves the community that he serves, very clearly loves the people who he serves. He is carrying the needs of Jackson with him.
You have to have a mayor that's going to show up for the people, and Chokwe Lumumba shows up for the people every time.
Both of my man, stop playing.
I really do like the mayor of Birmingham closing it out. Both of my man and stop playing. I really do like that a lot. So thank you to Mayor Lumumba for supporting this live stream. We do appreciate that. And we pay special attention to those people who support independent Black media. We pay very close attention to that, and we are appreciative of your support of this project. Okay, so listen, 1 week from today, we head back to the polls to vote for mayor. 1 week from today, we have 1 week. Folk have said, maybe things can get back to normal. Probably not for me, with a lot of people, because this election showed the true colors of people, right? Showed the true colors of people. So there are some things that I won't return to after this election. One of them being I will never visit or patronize the manship again, because Stephen O'Neill showed his true racist colors, right? I don't know if that night, all of his mental issues and mental challenges, mental health challenges, I don't know if they were, if they flared up during our conversation, but he showed his true colors. And so when I opted not to conform, not to be the good Black boy that conforms, we had some challenges. And so there are certain things that I won't return to. A relationship with him is one of them, and visiting that restaurant is one of them. I won't return there. I just won't go back there, because once you show yourself, right? Maya Angelou, she said what? When people show you who they are the first time, believe them. And I did it, and I saw signs of his racism, in years past, his mental uh, health challenges. I saw all of that, know all of that, know his history, right? And never addressed that with him. Never saw a need to really address that with him. But that's my fault. Blame me, for sweeping that under the carpet. Blame me for that. But not anymore. This election really showed me, put yourself first and stop wearing blinders, to certain things. Just stop doing that, right? Call a spade, and let the chips fall where they may. That ain't how are you? And let the chips fall, where they may, and so be it. Um, but let me tell you something. Looking at John Horn's campaign finance report, it's telling. It's just very telling, and I understand the positions that people take, because of that. And I'm not mad. I've worked on many of campaigns, and was paid, and my allegiance was to them. I get that, but the nastiness, the virtual, the vicious attacks, it's unbelievable. But you have to follow the money to fully understand. Now, this man's name I didn't see show up, but I absolutely know. Um, I absolutely know that um, not only has he been paid, but he's been paid royally. And I think that we have to follow the money to understand the attacks. Why attack me? Because of who I'm supporting, right? I just happen to believe that Jackson is not for sale. I don't believe the notion that everything is gone in Jackson and that there's nothing for sale, there's nothing to take, there's nothing to give away. I don't subscribe to that. And I know John Horn well, and John Horn has supported me. He particularly supported me when I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. But this election for me goes beyond that. It's not about the individual. It's about the city of Jackson, right? It's about the city of Jackson, right? It's about doing what's right for Jackson when there are no cameras rolling. It's about doing what's right for Jackson, even if you're the only voice in the room standing up for Jackson. It's about doing what's right for Jackson at any cost, right? Jackson's not about to tip over into the Pearl River based on the outcome of the elections next Tuesday. So that rhetoric is ignorant to me. That rhetoric doesn't fly. It really is about doing what is right for this city, fighting for this city. Mayor Lumumba has shortcomings, as we all do. We're human frailty, so we all have shortcomings. I've been his loudest and biggest critic, more so than anybody. But what I do understand is that he will continue fighting for Jackson. And this election, for me, is about what's best for Jackson. Who will put Jackson first? Who will ensure that all of Jackson is represented when you're sitting at the table? This election for me is about the welfare of the city. But here's where I want to go. And so I was attacked. And been attacked, by several people. And it's funny, and I don't care about that. But in as much as I don't care, I do think, though, that you have to follow the money. Now, I want to show, because Malcolm, and so I thought I would address this, but I said, you know what, let's just put this to bed once and for all. It's okay to change your position. If you had asked me, honestly, if you had asked me 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, if I thought that I would be supporting Chokwe and Tara Lumumba, then I probably would have said, maybe not, maybe not. But when I started hearing all of these unfair things placed at his feet, I was like, this is not right. deal with issues, deal with situations, right? Deal with it. Absolutely deal with it, call it out. But unfair blame and laying all of this stuff at us. Jackson didn't get this way over the course of the last 8 years. Our water, our infrastructural needs, and all of these things didn't happen at the election of Chokwe and Lumumba. And, this federal bribery scheme, that has nothing to do with this city. That's him. Deal with that, but don't lump everything under that umbrella. And that's what our Northeast Jackson Republicans have been doing. And they found a candidate in John Horn that continues that narrative, right? And this fellow, it's okay to change who you support. It's absolutely okay, because I did. Had you asked me 6 months ago, I don't know that I would have said that I would be in this position now. But when I look at what's at stake, and I look at making Jackson a priority, and when I look at all of Jackson being represented and having a seat at the table, my support goes to Chokwe and Lumumba 100%. And it's okay to acknowledge that you changed, right? It's okay. But to hide and lie and be so vicious, right? To be so vicious about it, it's inexcusable and it's ignorant at best. And we always find ourselves here during elections, which makes it so difficult for good people to run, right? It makes it so that we're going to get to the GSU prayers in just a little bit, right? We're not there yet, but when you just get in the middle of mess, right? When you just get in the middle of mess, you have to wonder why. And it just makes good people not even want to run and not even want to be a part of this. So let me just show you Messy Malcolm, is what I like to call him. Messy Malcolm. Let's look at some posts from 2017. Here's this one post. This is what he said after there was a Jackson Police Department report about Senator John Horn failing a sobriety test, right? And we all know the story, about John and his DUIs. I mean, we all know the story, and we all have, things that we are not necessarily proud of. But this is what Malcolm said March 27th, 2017. We don't need a drunk in City Hall. We have enough problems. And so you notice that whenever I would make a post or comment on my live about John and why I'm not supporting him, Malcolm would attack me. But this is his post from 2017. We don't need a drunk in City Hall. We have enough problems. And supposedly this was after John conducted a meeting at the Capitol, and I attended that meeting, and there were tons of people in that meeting, and he got arrested, after that meeting, after making a stop, leaving the Capitol, making a stop, at a restaurant and have some drinks. He got stopped. But here's another post from Malcolm. Here's another one. And this is February 6th, 2017. And Malcolm writes, Credell Calhoun, this is your candidate. He thinks he's above the law. Credell Calhoun, this is your candidate. He thinks he's above the law. Now remember, and leave this picture up, leave this graphic up. Now remember, Malcolm worked for David Archie. And you remember I had David Archie on the show, and I asked him, why are you not being attacked? And you're running for mayor. Why am I being attacked, right? RJ3, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. And me too, brother. Lots of things that I'm not proud of. We all have a past. But anyway, so if you recall, Malcolm worked for David Archie at the county, but he separated himself from David to support John. Why? Because John gave him a large sum of money. And so all you got to do is follow the money. And so we go from these two 2017 posts to this one that he posted about his support of John. And he says, I want to thank everyone for offering themselves for public services. Public services. Poor grammar. I have several friends who are running for mayor of the city of Jackson. However, this upcoming election is not about friendship. It's about the future of our city. Several people have asked who I was supporting for mayor. After praying and paying very close attention, I think he probably meant after praying and getting paid, he decided to pay very close attention to the campaign. He's decided to support John Horn to be the next mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. He's not perfect, but he's what the city needs at the present time. And so I guess that last sentence, he's not perfect, but he's what the city needs at this present time. I am assuming, by cognitive deduction that that last statement was an attempt to mask or cover up his previous post about the alcoholic consumption of John Horn. And you know what? And that is fine. That is absolutely fine. It is okay to change your mind. It's okay. I think the problem comes in when you don't share why, right? When you don't share why. And so Messy Malcolm, we know that you're getting paid, and it's okay, brother. Make your money, right? Make your money, right? I will never knock a man for his hustle. Make your money, but tell the people the truth. And so I've had those posts, for a while, and decided that now is the time to release it, because people just kept asking, are you going to respond to that? Are you going to sue? Are you going to, it's a defamation of character. Are you going to listen to me? Listen to me. I am a firm believer that the truth does not need defending. So I'm built for this. So bring the attacks on, right? None of that sways me. None of that moves me. None of that changes my position. But the problem is when you can't be honest with people. That's the most likes anything you've ever done on social media has got. Why? Because I was the subject matter. So thank you for that. But the problem again is because Messy Malcolm didn't say why he was supporting John Horn. You're supporting him because of the money. And let me tell you, I had several people to reach out to me and say, you need to call John Horn. He got to spend that money. He has, please, I will always have an affinity for peanut butter and jelly. I can't just go and throw my support for somebody just for the money. I can't do it. Absolutely cannot do it. But folks, you have a decision to make. And the decision is in your hands. And you've got a week to make that decision. You've got a week to make that decision. A week. And it's a very important decision. It really is about the direction of this city. And for me, and only me, this is my position. I don't trust John Horn to look out for the interest of everybody in this city. Some absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely. But I'm simply talking about the sum total of the citizens in Jackson. I don't trust that John would make us a priority. I don't trust that. And that's what my vote is based on. Vote for who you want. Support who you want. You have that right? Support who you want. You have that right. But we've got a big decision 1 week from today. So next Tuesday, right after the wine review, I'm certain we'll be talking about this election, right? We'll be talking about it right after the wine review. So that's next week. All right. So that's that. We've given you all that we got, all that we know to help you become an informed electorate. It's on you now. It is absolutely on you. It's absolutely on you. So you know what you got to do. Let's do it. All right, on now to another hot topic. Let's talk about Jackson State University and what we know and what we don't know. Well, first of all, let me just say this to you. Let me just say this, and I want to be very, 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 very clear. Right now, everything is just rumors, right? Everything is just rumors that are floating around. You know, I have tried to verify some things. You know, I've come close to getting something. I've come close to being able to verify one room or close to verifying this, but nothing. And so I will never make a post, or do a live on something that I don't know, right? So I can't make a post about it, right? I can't, because everything is just rumors. And I would say to you though that I have heard probably every single rumor that you've heard. I've heard it all. I've not seen video. I've heard that there was a video, and I've heard all of that. I think I've heard every single rumor. You know, in fact, I was at a wine dinner on Thursday night in Destin, and someone brought it up at the dinner table, and I said, "Are you kidding me?" And I mean, from dinner Thursday night to all day Friday and half of the day on Saturday, I started getting text messages and telephone calls and that AI generated article. Um, um, let me say this too. let me say this about that AI generated article. Man, listen to me. Um, the article, so I received it, I guess, Friday morning. While I was in Destin, I received the article Friday morning from a couple of people, back to back. People just sending it to me, and I'm thinking there's so many red flags with this article. The name of the publication, right? The name of the publication was not legible. It was cut off. I Googled the writer's name, couldn't find anything. I put the title of the article in my search engine, and nothing came up. And so all of those indicators told me that the article was fake, right? All of those things told me that the article was fake. I've had several people to say to me, send me the article, but I would not share the article. I just don't share false information. So not only did I not post the article, but I didn't even share it. Folks asked me to inbox it to them, to text it to them. I wouldn't do any of that because it was fake. It was false. Funny thing is, there's some of y'all, right? Um, 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 the funny thing though is that y'all give me too much credit, right? Y'all give me too much credit. Somebody literally said that I wrote that article. And that's the funniest thing I've heard since the ignorance of that post that got me fired at the county. That's the funniest thing. Listen, that's the funniest thing that I've heard. Greg, stop hating, brother. Stop hating. But that's the funniest thing. You guys give me too much credit. There's no. First of all, I consider myself to be an excellent writer, excellent journalist, and I will put my work up against the best of them. So to give me credit for something that was so poorly written is an insult at best, right? It's an insult at best. But you know, I would never do that, right? So I would never initiate a story, and which is why so many of you trust me, and for that I'm grateful and very appreciative, because you know that I'm going to do the research, right? I'm going to research every single thing. I've had some friends of mine say to me, "Well, I told you that should be enough." Well, no. You know, you gotta do the research on every single thing. And so I will say this: not my MO, not my style. I'm a better writer than that, a better journalist than that. And even with listen and hear me, and I hope Marcus Thompson, the president of Jackson State, is listening to this. Even with our relationship being strained, right, and our relationship, in my mind, because you know we haven't talked about it, but in my mind, our relationship is strained because of the situation with his wife at the county. And so, trust me, I understand pillar talk. I understand allegiance to that, but I also understand truth, right? I understand truth, even when pillar talk is wrong, when pillar talk is a lie. I understand truth, and but I also understand loyalty and spousal support. Friends of mine, I've talked about this because I couldn't understand why he just stopped talking. Right? I couldn't understand it, and so I've talked to several friends about it, and so I get spousal support. Right? I get that, but at the end of the day, I also get truth. I get people say standing on business. I get standing on the truth, even when spousal support and pillow talk is wrong. I get supporting that, but I also get standing on truth. So that's where our relationship became strained in my mind. That's the only thing that I could think of when our relationship became strained. At the end of the day, though, I stand on truth. I know what happened at the county, and I know what season, no longer there. Um, um, but get this, even with a strained relationship that I have with him, for the sake of the university, I hope we can clear this hurdle. I hope we can clear it. And so for me, and let me just tell you where I am with the situation, because I've heard so much. I've heard so much. I've heard so much on this side of all the things that supposedly, allegedly has happened. I've heard so much on this side from all the ways that they're dealing with it, all the ways that IHL is dealing with, all the ways Jackson State is dealing with it. So I just got all of these things running in my head, right? But right now, all of it, it's just rumors, just rumors. I thought I came close today to having a nugget that I can grab a hold to. Because I'm telling you, I've got some good, I have some good sources, man. I have some good sources. But until I can have it in my hand or till I can read it and see it for myself, I can't talk about it. I cannot toss about it. I can't talk about it, right? I cannot talk about it. But on this side, I have all of the ways IHL is handling this, and supposedly this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Here I have all of the ways, all of the things that supposedly happened, and all of the things that he supposedly did. I've heard everything. I've heard everything. And so there's a battle going on in my head. And I promise you, I have tried to confirm some stuff, and I've been unsuccessful. I have been totally unsuccessful. Again, today I thought I came close to confirming one of the things that was said to me, but could not. But until such a time that we can get some concrete information that we can confirm right now, we're just going to chalk it up to it's all rumors. Jackson State cannot afford another black eye with its president. Just can't afford that, right? Jackson State is just now getting back, on stable ground. We survived the loss of Deion Sanders, right? We're thriving. Our band is thriving. Our football program is thriving. And athletics as a whole is thriving. We're finally getting back, and I did talk to some members, of the foundation board, and I know they're struggling, to raise money still from the last two incidents we had with the presidents at Jackson State. So I know they're struggling. Fundraising is 15% down based on what I'm told. But they're trying to find solid ground again, right? They're trying to find solid footing again, and so things are stabilizing when it comes to fundraising. And so certainly, my God, for God's sake, we don't need another scandal. And that's all that I can say. I mean, that's it right now. Everything, it's just rumors, But do know And I'm chasing every rumor that I get to see if there's any validity to it. But we've not been able to confirm anything. And I've heard names. I'm telling you, I have heard everything. I've heard a name of, a cabinet member. I've heard a name of a student. I've heard a name of one of his assistants. I've heard all the names, right? I've heard all the names. People send me this stuff because they trust that I will do the right thing with the information that I get. So I've heard all the things. Every rumor that you've heard, I've heard, right? And I probably heard more, but I've chased them down. I've absolutely chased them down. So I want to go back to, I think, what Robert said. He told me to read this comment. So I want to go back to that comment, see if we can post it up. We'll deal with comments for the remainder of the show. So I don't know if I can get that comment there. Like, so we missed that. So Ms. Harrison has said IHL bringing in people that they feel are scandal worthy just to consolidate all HBCUs in Mississippi. I can put my last dime on it. Yeah, we've been hearing that type of conversation for many years, which is one of the reasons why I was happy to work on ousting Ronald Mason, because he was going to be the puppet that IHL was using to close all of these other HBCUs and merge them together. So I was happy to help get rid of him. I don't advocate anybody losing their job, but this was for the betterment of JSU. Greg says this will be like the fifth one in a row. If something should come of this, right? If something should come of this, it will certainly at least be the third for the same thing. And my position is, man, listen, what is up with that seat? If any of this is true, what is up with that seat? You almost have to be a whore, to sit in that seat if it's true, right? Because if it's true, this will be the third president with that kind of scandal. But again, everything is all speculative. Everything is all rumor based. Nobody has been able to approve or prove anything. So it's all rumors right now. It's all rumors, right? It's just all rumors. But listen, I will push back on this, though, because the JSU National Alumni Association president, Patrice Edwards, made, in my mind, a very ridiculous comment on one of my posts. It's like, yeah, we need to take a lesson from white folk and stop posting. Miss me with that BS, right? Miss me with that BS, because we are multifaceted people and we can have 2 or 3 conversations at the same time. To say that we're hearing these things does not diminish our love for the university. So that comment was silly at best. You can love the university and you can protect the university, but you can also deal with the issue at hand. And while there may be people out there that saying he is guilty as charged, right? There may be people out there that say he's guilty as charged. We don't know, but we can have more than one conversation at the same time. Mr. Harrison says, what recent development did the company whose CEO endorsed Senator Horn today did in the city of Jackson? I don't know if I understand this. What recent development did the company whose CEO endorsed Senator Horn today did in the city of Jackson? The only thing that I know is that old Jury Inn on County Line, this guy owns that and changed the name of it. So he bought that hotel, Prada, or I can't pronounce it. So that Jury Inn changed to his ownership. I will say that CEO is heavily involved with the Top Golf that's in Ridgeland, right? I will say that that CEO is heavily involved in that. All right, so we got a couple of more minutes remaining. Thursday, hopefully, we'll get into a conversation about former interim Hinds County Sheriff Marshand Crisler. He has reported to prison. I kind of want to have a conversation about the facility that he had to report to, what kind of facility it is. So I want to talk about that in detail on Thursday. Such a shame. I've known Marshand for many years, and I absolutely hate I absolutely hate that it has come to this. I absolutely hate it. But we'll have an in-depth conversation about that on Thursday. Also, we'll have an in-depth conversation about Mississippi and its recent approval of rolling back DEI initiatives. You know, that's going to affect our public schools. That's going to affect our HBCUs, our public universities. This is going to have a long-term effect. So next Thursday, we'll get into that conversation as well. It's got an O in it, but we're going to call it Prada. Look, I saw the P and I saw the A at the end, and I like Prada, right? So, so whatever, however you pronounce it, man, you know. But yeah, so we'll get into Marshand Crisler on Thursday. We'll also get into Mississippi's DEI vote on next Thursday as well. But quickly, as we prepare to close, I do want to share an event that is happening soon. I see it. So there's an event on the screen there calling all dance team for the 13th annual So You Think You Can Dance event. It's happening at the Mississippi School for the Deaf and Blind at 1253 East Over Drive. I don't really see the date. Oh, Saturday, April 26th at 12 noon, right? Saturday, April 26th at 12 noon. And this is a reminder that if you got community information or events that you want to share with us here, please get that to us. You can do it via our inbox. Shamika says also the state has decided to stop providing child care vouchers for families across the. Yeah, you know, Mississippi is Trump country. Mississippi is Trump country, and it's sad where we're heading as a state. I will be glad when Tuesday is over so we can focus on some of these statewide issues and get some more information out there. So yeah, it's sad where we're headed as a state, man. It is absolutely sad where we are headed as a state. All right, folk, it is 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your sticking with us. We appreciate more than anything your trust. We absolutely appreciate your trust. And we certainly by all means appreciate your investment into what we are doing. And so if you're so inclined to share, please do so. You can do it via our Cash App at $Othor Cain. That's $OTHORCAIN. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for your engagement. And we'll talk to you again on Thursday. All right? Have a great night.
We know he's gotten things done for Jackson.
Mayor Lumumba has a national profile, which it gives him the ability to do what he did when Jackson was facing the major water crisis.
He got something done. He got close to $1 billion from the federal government to do something that hasn't been done in decades.
He is literally in the best position to help lives, change lives, transform his community for the better, and improve the quality of life.
Mayor Lumumba has been a very consistent person, somebody who is very clearly loves the community that he serves, very clearly loves the people who he serves. He is carrying the needs of Jackson with him.
You have to have a mayor that's going to show up for the people, and Chokwe Lumumba shows up for the people every time.
Vote for my man, stop playing.
And so our goal, it's Father's Day weekend. It's that Saturday, right? Our goal is to get in, have some good workshops, get a good lunch and an etiquette session at lunch, right? If we can grab hold of one young man, and if we can partner this young man with an adult male, right? We believe this day will be transformative because we believe this relationship can build and last. All it takes is one. All it takes is one. It takes absolutely just one. And so we need your support. We need your support. We need your support on recommending young men for this.